Hey, good afternoon. If everybody take a seat, practical social distancing. I'm Rick Luke, Planning Section Chief for California Team 5. Our Instant Commander is Rick Young. Welcome to the Creek Fire South Zone planning meeting for Sunday, October 4th. We'll get going with situation update. Thank you.
All right. Good afternoon or good evening, everybody. Don Fraguglia. Stand in front of my square here. It's going to be a difficult one, though. Okay, here's your operational update for the day today. We're going to start up in the north because that's where all the activity's at. Status quo here along the South Fork of the San Joaquin River. That continues to stay in check all day today. However, as we get down here into Division November, as we said earlier today, that fire was active throughout the day today. So we're going to have we have fire right now on the shores of Doris Lake. Day Ops just got off a recon flight, so that's this little lake right here. You can see fire is there right now. It does get rocky before it hits the 80 road, but that's the current fire's edge today. So it did move a good distance into that in between Mono Hot Springs and Lake Thomas Edison. Moving down into along the Kaiser Pass Road, that held today. We're looking at initiating some firing tonight, right from that fire's edge down to the division break. That's about 1.5 to 2 miles of fire's edge to clean that up and bring it down to a point where we can turn the corner on it. And we will go up that road just a little bit probably tonight for night shift to put a catcher's mitt on it, meaning it's a temporary fix. This fire was very active and is still very active here in the Sample Meadows area along and north of the 05 road, and has spotted over the 05 road into the Kaiser Wilderness in many places and is actively burning to the south right now. We expect that run to stop as the sun goes down, but that was a containment feature, this 05 road, Sample Meadows road that we were looking to use, and has currently been compromised in several places. Moving down along in here, we're looking good. Romeo, Sierra Country, mop-up continues. Patrol, expected to see some black on the map here tonight. Down all along the southern edge of this fire, back over to the zone break. Calls for service, and that was about the day out there. So with that, end of my report. Thank you.
Thank you, Don. Weather.
Good evening. Mark Pellerito, incident meteorologist. So we had the two worlds on the same old graphic, right? You had the smoky air below and the clean air above. Well, today, as Jeff will tell you, the two worlds was very smoky below and still pretty smoky up top just because of all the activity. The inversion was somewhere around 5,500 to 6,000 feet again, and above that, the winds occasionally gusted to around 15 miles per hour. So Mount Tom at 9,000 actually even gusted to 20 miles per hour. We had the crash into the single digits for RH to low teens this morning and lasting up to about now. And now it's starting to get its very, very minor recovery in progress before dipping again overnight tonight. I do expect tonight's going to be another very poor recovery. And if you go ahead and hit the button there. Here's today's column on north side again. The north zone had a column up to around 20,000 feet showing up on radar. So showing again the ability of these updrafts riding up the slopes, punching through the inversion and getting into some free mixing air. Much of the fire is actually above the inversion anyway. It doesn't have to punch at all. All right, next slide. So here we got, again, tonight, big, thick the thermal belts. That's what I was trying to say. And once again, we're going to see those RHs drop through the night after midnight into the teens, perhaps even a couple single digits by dawn. Now, if you get into those little holes like at China Peak Camp, then you get all that cold air collecting, and so the RH not so low. But you just get a smidge off of that valley floor, and you're right at the dry thermal belt. And this is going to continue still for a few days, but speaking of a few days, let's go ahead and take a look ahead here. And we can finally start seeing some green by Thursday. I hesitate to point this out because we still have much to get through, and we don't want to look too far ahead here. We still have several nights of very poor humidity recovery, that middle row. and you can see the minimum humidities remain at 5,000 feet, somewhere right around 10, and then still in the teens, right to midweek. Once we do get to midweek, though, temperatures are finally settling down to October. And looking ahead, next slide, this is starting to show up in more models. This right here is the official Weather Prediction Center forecast from the National Weather Service, and you can see that the Pacific Northwest is really going to get a soaking. Northern Cal is going to get a pretty good soaking, and we are somewhere on that line where we might get some rain too. And this is just to Saturday evening, and so if you take it through the weekend, it might be even a little more than that. More of the models are trending this direction, so can actually start talking about the possibility of rain by a week from now. Any questions for fire weather? Okay.
Thank you, Mark.
One go back. Back there, guess who started his day at 0200 Pacific? He made it here. This is John Pendergrass. We're going to have our overlap day tomorrow, and then he will take the baton on behalf of IMETS.
Thank you, Mark. Welcome, John. Fire behavior.
Good afternoon, Jeff Shelton, Team 5 Fire Behavior. So we're in a persistence forecasting mode right now. You're seeing on the matrix that everything is identical moving down the line. I was out on the line all the way up to Edison Lake today. The good news is everybody I talk to out there has a real good grasp from division all the way down to the people throwing dirt on what is driving this fire, and they're really in tune with the signs and the signals to read on a daily basis. And so I feel really confident that they're poised to take the right action in relation to the fire behavior and the very dry air that we have there and what we're going to see. So what I feared today the most was that we had that strong cap that was going to trap the smoke, that above that was going to be a lot of free air. There was free air, but because the fuels above that inversion are so persistently dry, they're putting off so much smoke that they filled that bathtub up as well with a lot of smoke. And that gave enough shading that it really tampered down a lot of the squirrely winds that would be in there. That being said, the up canyon, upslope stuff that started in the afternoon is moving right up into the area where we have the most active fire. That's really at the headwaters of that drainage, that river drainage, and so the wind is just going the opposite way the water is flowing, and so that is where the fire is being steered to. I wouldn't say it's being pushed; it's just being steered to that. Heavy dead and down is driving the fire. It's a fuels-driven fire. A lot of group torching moving on. It's actually doing really good stuff for the landscape, but it's like lava. It's just persistent and it's moving across. It's not running or anything, but it's just chunking away. And so I perceive that it'll keep moving that direction until the wind stops this evening, and then goes down canyon. There's a very good chance, looking at the timestamp, that it'll stop short of the Mono Hot Springs Resort right at about the right time. And talking with the crews in there, sounds like they might be poised to take advantage of that wind shift at that point to do some work in there. For tomorrow, we're looking at more of the same values, the same risks. Talking with the IMET, it looks like that we might have a little more ventilation, but I think that upper bathtub is also going to be filled up again. Dry air up there. I described it to one of the divisions up there as the fire is RONing overnight, and then it's checking out of its tent and then moving during the day, and it parks. And that's what we're going to see probably for the next 3 burn periods. I think it's going to be active overnight, but it's not going to move a lot overnight. Any questions?
Thank you, Jeff. Looking for approval for the incident objectives? No change? Good to go. Thank you. Operational priorities and assignments.
Okay, afternoon. John Goss, Plane Ops Trainee. All right, this is for the 24-hour operational period from October 4th through the 5th. And we'll start up at branch 20. And I may Don, if you could help me with that pointer, I just want to point out a couple of things here. So the work assignments for November changed a bit, but the intent is still the same. We're continuing that primary line construction along Kaiser Road north towards Vermilion Valley Resort. So in case you don't know where VVR is, it's not there. That black dot right up there by Edison Lake, a little bit to the left, Donnie, right there. And right next to it in close proximity is the High Sierra Pack Station. So again, back to those values of risk. This fire today gave us some time to get out there to prepare that as conditions allow to go and execute that defensive firing. As far as needs on this particular division, just have a few needs. Some Type 2A crews looking for 3 still, 1 Type 3 engine, 3 water tenders. Tactical water tenders is what we're looking for now. We had a couple of support water tenders show up today with 1 operator, and that's just not the place to have large vehicles up on that Kaiser Pass Road unless it's that tactical type of water tender. So those are the specific water needs there we need in that particular division. And a falling module as well. Okay, rolling over to Papa. You're going to see a pretty big chunk of a work assignment there, and they're going to get a little bit fine-tuned based on the activity that we heard about today off of Stump Springs Road. So we'll definitely put a little bit of a tweak for tomorrow. They're still maintaining that tactical patrol of structures on the North Shore of Huntington Lake. Day 2 of their reentry for Huntington Lake, so I'm sure they're helping the folks out there. As far as the hand crews there, still mopping up direct, and we're holding that piece of line that goes in the wilderness area still on the lower part of the sea, Donnie. Yep, still putting an effort in to holding that line there. And then what's going to change a bit is what we're doing on the top of the sea there. Thanks for going back and forth. Apologies there. So that triple little finger going down there, the attempt there was to go direct as possible with dozer line into the wilderness there to check it into the wilderness. But the problem we're having is that Stump Springs Road. So we're going to adjust tactics just a little bit to encompass today's activities, and we'll try to reflect that in 1 sentence or less here for tomorrow's work assignments. So as far as needs for the division tomorrow, looking for those Type 3 engines, 4 of them specifically. Also some task force leaders, 2 of those, felling bosses and falling modules. Okay, going over to Division Romeo, work assignments have not changed. Looking to secure that edge to the extent necessary to prevent any further fire spread, and still with that emphasis on that division break between Sierra and Romeo. That's still where they're giving a little bit of issues there. On this particular division, looking for 4 Type 2A crews and 4 of those Type 3 engines. So overall in that particular branch, what you will notice today is that we now have 0 needs for IHC crews. So South Ops definitely did a great job shoring us up as far as the Type 1 hand crews there. So they're no longer a need for this incident. In fact, we were going to borrow a couple from the north side, and there's no longer a need for that either. So good news there. We've got the right complement of IHC crews on the incident. Okay, and we still have the night division NPR. No change there. We've got 5 engines out there, Type 3, a Type 4, and 3 Type 6s, which again, back to that right tool for the job at nighttime. The smaller engines is definitely preferred on that particular on November. But again, that's a multi-division night shift there. Do have a couple needs there, and that's where those tactical water tenders are the need there for 4 of those. Okay, switching over to branch 25 and 29. This is the Sierra Union Victor Whiskey X-Ray Zulu. Again, all those work assignments have remained unchanged going into tomorrow. With the exception of X-Ray Zulu, they're pulling some more hose. And remember, that was the division that 110,000 feet of hose 2 days ago that they pulled. They found some more. So looking to pull some hose off X-Ray Zulu, which when you start pulling hose, again, back down to X-Ray Zulu. When it's time to pull hose, that means they're feeling very, very confident that particular stretch of hand line is not going to go anywhere. So that's good news for everybody. And no needs for this branch for those 3 particular divisions. No needs. And then suppression repair. As you'll see on the 215, that top right corner, this is the heavy on the heavy equipment division there. They do have some specialized needs. We put that order in today. It's a fancy excavator I saw a picture of it. I don't even know how to explain it, but it's a very fancy excavator. So they've got a couple of those needs as well as some middle management, the task force leaders. And they're still within the same general vicinity of Shaver East, Shaver South, Vincent, fuel break area, and then up on the Stump Springs Road. Okay. And then air ops for tomorrow. No change in the complement of aircraft. So no change in the complement there. What we're working on is the Mammoth. I know 2 days ago we pulled stuff out of Mammoth, but then air issues became an issue. We couldn't fly the helicopters out of Mariposa like we wanted to, so now we're kind of looking back again at Mammoth, at least for maybe just a day, not RO in them overnight, but it'll be a day trip, fuel up, and as needed, and then bring them home at night. So, end of report. Any questions? It's a great question. Yes.
Thank you, John. Safety.
Good afternoon, Brian Savage, Team 5 Safety. We had a good day today, no issues out in the line today, which was good. As far as tomorrow, we support the plan. Our staffing level in the safety shop is dropping dramatically. Tomorrow we'll have 2 qualified safeties in the field and 2 trainees. That's quite a decrease over the last 48 hours. Our major concerns we'll continue to focus on will be driving, hazard trees and snags, and the potential for large fire growth with the heat continuing. Tomorrow also, Edison will be re-energizing subdivision near Tamarack and 168 Road in the morning. In the afternoon, PG&E is going to do the same in the areas around Dogwood and Peterson Road, and that'll be in the afternoon. Any questions? Thank you.
Thank you, Brian. Communications.
Good afternoon, Ken Earl, Communications. Just a reminder, change your batteries at the beginning of every shift. Possibly some issues we had today were related to that. So just remember, just be in the habit of changing your batteries out. We have a new communications trailer out here. It's not quite ready to go yet, but it probably will be by tonight. So on any IWIs, work your way past where we were, and if we'll also let you know, but we'll head on out. Probably on the IWI channel, we'll let you know when we're officially in the vehicle. It'll be quiet, and it's a good workspace. Other than that, good comms today. I didn't hear any negatives, so appreciate the feedback. Let us know if you're having problems in certain areas. We hunted down a problem with the Command 5 repeater. It actually was working well. It turns out that I believe they were just around an area that they couldn't hit the repeater that they thought they should. So they were able to get things to work by going to another command channel. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you. Medical.
Good evening, everybody. Jeff Carlin Medical. So continuing to support the plan, we have movement where we're taking our base medic that was at China Peak and moving them out to Edison Spike when that takes effect. And then we got another fill on one of our paramedics, so we're bolstering up the divisions to support the plan. Other than that, I thank you guys for helping support the mitigation and prevention of the COVID by adhering to the policies we're putting in place both up at the camps and here at the ICP. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Jeff. Okay, I'm looking for plan support. Logistics. Thank you. Finance. Thank you. Read supports. Information. Agencies. Thank you. And liaison. Okay, closing comments. Agency Administrator. Dean. Kimberly.
Okay, well, what an exciting day it was. I was in the field. It was lovely. There's a lot of people that are coming out to get their belongings. It was successful in our areas. I just want to thank everybody for helping us get there. Slowly but surely, everyone's belongings will get picked up. There are trailers and tents and boats in our 4 locations. We'll do it again tomorrow, and then we'll do it throughout the week, and as well as next weekend, and we will go from there. Thank you.
Thank you, Kimberly. Closing comments, Incident Commander. Rick Young.
So just a couple of things. Same as yesterday, that increased traffic going into Huntington Lake combined with the increased fire activity north of Huntington Lake causes me a little bit of concern. So let's make sure we communicate that in our safety message and our division breakouts, prepared for that. This inversion that's setting in at the camp has potential to cause us some problems with camp crud spreading, which the symptoms are very similar to COVID, which could be lead to some delays, some testing, a lot of complications. So just make sure we're doing what we can to get those firefighters the best out of the smoke as much as we can. And then just in another order of business, the team transition later this week. Type 2 teams coming in. Mike Strom's team has been confirmed, ordered, and filled, and so they'll be here Wednesday for an in-brief. Support the plan.
Thank you. Okay, IIP components are due at 1900. Our next operational briefing is here in this room of 700. We are live streaming that. And next planning meeting is also here. Have a safe night, and don't forget to turn your cell phones back on. Bye.